Hey guys, Merry Christmas. Dean of DVD here. It's snowing actually here in southern Pennsylvania, northern Maryland, kind of unexpectedly. And I thought, nice night to, it's Christmas Eve, nice night to make a video and upload it. And so I thought I'd do something that I haven't done before, which is my list of the top 10 most overrated movies. Now, these don't necessarily have to be bad movies. In fact, they may be good movies, but people think they're better than they are. So, in other words, the more hyped the movie was, the more the box office was, the more the critics raved about it, the more people seemed to revere it, is the more likely that it might be overrated, in my opinion, simply because a lot of people seem to like it, and I may like it, but not as much as other people do. I may not see the value in it as other people do, or I just don't think it's as good as other movies in a similar way. So let's start with number 10, A Clockwork Orange, Stanley Kubrick. I like Stanley Kubrick. I like a lot of things he's done, but this is not one of my favorite Stanley Kubrick movies. Yeah, I didn't like the violence theme. I did think Malcolm McDowell did a nice job in the role, but I thought it was overdone, a little over the top. I know that was the point, but for me, the singing in the rain thing, the whole idea of breaking into people's homes, and then the therapy to kind of get him back from that to something that was more respectable. It just is not one of my favorite movies. Yeah, certainly, it's a good movie. I've watched it numerous times. It's not something I would turn off if it was on, but I don't think it deserves the reverence that some people have given this movie over the years, calling it a masterpiece and so on. I think it's a good movie. I don't think it's a great movie. I don't think it's one of Kubrick's best. I can name 4 or 5 that I think are better. But anyway, that's my number 10. Number 9 is a movie that got a lot of box office praise and Academy Award praise and so on, and that would be Slumdog Millionaire. I liked the movie. I thought it was entertaining. I liked the whole concept of the game show and then seeing how the person's life and life experiences kind of allowed them to be able to answer the various questions. But it was pretty contrived, I thought. And although I liked the story, I could have done without the game show part, I think. That part was too contrived for me. It did make it interesting. I was entertained by it. If it's on, I might watch it. But it's not something that I'd go out of my way to watch. So I would say Slumdog Millionaire. Definitely an overrated movie. Something that it was definitely worthy of making my top 10. And it comes in at number 9 on my top 10 most overrated movies. Now the next one up, be a surprise to some. In fact, a lot of these will be. But number 8 is The Matrix. Again, good movie. And I would say the whole Matrix trilogy, quadrilogy, whatever it is, I would put them all into the same category. The first one's the best of the bunch. However, I thought it was probably overly done. Can you turn that down? Overly done. And, just probably not anything I was really too excited about. I like the special effects. The general idea behind it I thought was pretty good. I certainly, the general concept was good. Again, it's not a bad movie. These overrated movies are not bad movies. I just don't think it's worthy of the really accolades that it's received. A lot of people really like it. A lot of people like the whole trilogy. I thought it went downhill after the first one. It's somewhat of a convoluted story to follow. Not the easiest thing to follow. I think it could have been done better. But not a terrible movie. Just in my mind, overrated. Number 7. This movie is another one that I've seen it. It's probably not one I would watch if it's on. I like it less than some of the other ones that we've seen here so far. In the first 3 anyway. Fight Club. It's kind of kind of like a one joke movie. You know, uh, to me, it's like The Sixth Sense. You know, it's kind of a one joke movie, or once you kind of get it, it kind of plays itself out. It's not worthy of seeing anymore, I guess. I feel that way about The Sixth Sense and a lot of other movies, and this is certainly one of those. It was a well done movie again, and none of these are bad movies. If it was a bad movie, it probably wouldn't be overrated. But this one I think is overrated. A lot of people really think this is a great movie, and I would say it was an interesting movie. Certainly nowhere near any sort of a top list that I would make. I don't even think it would make my top 100. In fact, I'm sure it wouldn't. So it's a movie that would probably make a lot of people's top 10. Wouldn't make my top 100. Might not even make my top 200. I'd have to think about it. Number 6, Blade Runner. This one will be controversial. A lot of these will be. Certainly, this is a good science fiction movie. It certainly held my interest. I love the special effects in it. I like the idea that of the replicants, and I like the idea of the character played by Harrison Ford hunting the replicants, but possibly being one himself. Like the whole concept of the movie. Thought it was well done. I like the effects, the futuristic city, the lighting, a lot of it was very, very well done. I just don't think it's as good as some people do. I think it's a good movie. It's a very good science fiction movie, but I wouldn't put it at the top of my science fiction list. So that's why I say it's overrated, because a lot of people will say this is the greatest science fiction movie ever made. I would disagree with that. And that's why I say it's overrated. So, Blade Runner, good movie, Ridley Scott, like it, like Alien better, but still a good movie. Yeah, Avatar, box office smash. I believe it holds the record, if I'm not mistaken, for most box office sales. It's not my idea of a great movie. Again, it's an interesting movie. It's one I've watched. It's one I enjoyed it the first time I saw it, and I would say it's a decent movie. Certainly, the effects were interesting. The special effects were good, and graphics were good. So I did enjoy it. I saw it in the theater. I thought it was a pretty decent movie, and I guess the CGI was impressive. But I'm not a big fan of James Cameron anyway. So I would say this one certainly deserves to be number 5. And the reason it's so high is because of the box office sales, because it sold so many tickets and so many people have seen it. That's why, in my mind, it ranks as high as a list as it does, as number 5, top overrated movie of all time. And James Cameron, could be too far behind with number 4, the former box office leader, Titanic. Again, it's not a bad movie. I own it on Blu-ray. I owned it, I think. No, I never owned it on DVD, I don't think. I owned it on VHS at one point. It's a good movie. I certainly am fascinated with the story of the Titanic. The whole idea that it a ship that was supposed to be unsinkable sank on its maiden voyage is interesting. Yeah, but there's the Criterion has a much better. A Night to Remember is a much better film about the Titanic than Titanic. As a love story, it is okay. As a historical document, it's not accurate. And as a movie, I find it overly long. But, some great water effects, some great effects with the ship going down. Again, a lot of good CGI in it. That does not, to me, make a great movie. And so, in my mind, Titanic well deserves to be number 4 most overrated movie of all time. Number 3, Godfather 2. Boy, a lot of people put that on their top 10 movies, probably. I thought The Godfather was a better movie. I thought Godfather 2 was a good movie. I'm not as big of a fan of the Robert De Niro section of showing the young Don Vito Corleone. I'm just not as big of a fan of that. I like the a story to stay in the present. I don't know why, I just did. So I'm not as big of a fan. Again, it's a good movie. I like the movie. I've watched it many times. I will watch it again. I don't dislike Godfather 2. I just don't think it's as good of a movie as a lot of other people think. I think it's good. It might even be great. But there are other movies that I think are better. And I think The Godfather is a better movie. A lot of people think The Godfather 2 is a better movie. I would disagree. Godfather I don't think is overrated. I think Godfather 2 is overrated. So, that's my opinion anyway. Let me know what you think on these. Number 2, this one will, I guess all these have some level of controversy when you call a movie overrated when it has such a great reputation as Casablanca. But I think it is overrated. It's well acted. It's well plotted. I guess part of me would have liked to have seen more scenes from the relationship between the Bogart character and the Bergman character, to show that they had a strong love and there are some moments, but I didn't get the sense that it was a great love. I don't know why I didn't. I certainly knew I was supposed to. I certainly knew the goodbye at the airport was sad. By the way, there's spoilers left and right on this. But if you haven't seen Casablanca by now, I guess I don't know what to tell you. Again, good movie. I'll probably watch it again if it were on television. I wouldn't turn the dial, but it's not, for me, a top movie. Now, number 1, Star Wars. The whole thing. The first trilogy, the second trilogy, whatever you want to call it. Movies 4, 5, and 6, movies 1, 2, and 3, all of them, including the first one, which I did like. I liked the first Star Wars. I liked The Empire Strikes Back. I liked The Return of the Jedi. I saw some redeeming qualities in the other 3 movies. But in the end, I think the whole Star Wars movie history is overrated. And I know there's a lot of Star Wars fans out there that'll disagree with me. But, the movie, it has not held up as well as others, in my opinion, for a number of reasons. The acting was good, but not great. And, certainly the first movie I enjoy, and I'll watch it again. But it's just not, in my opinion, as good of a movie as a lot of people make it out to be. You've seen my top 10 movies before. You see what I like. This is a good movie. Maybe even parts of it are a great movie. But it's not a fantastic movie. It's not one of the top movies. So, I want to thank you guys for watching. I'd love to hear what you think are the most overrated movies. Those movies that sold well, that a lot of people think are good, but you don't. That would be my definition. So Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I might do some sort of a video after Christmas, not sure. I've got a bunch of stuff to review that I haven't, but I get to all that stuff. Hope you enjoy the holidays. Hope you have a good Christmas. Hope you've been good and Santa brings you whatever you've been wanting. And until the next time, have a good Christmas and a good New Year.